So if you're on a visa or you're a temporary resident in Australia, and you might be wondering, are you able to buy property? And the answer is yes. There's a but that comes with that as well, okay? So it's not a straightforward process. You can buy property, however, there are going to be pretty significant tax implications. Number one, you'll be paying a lot more stamp duty than a permanent resident or an Australian citizen. The amount of stamp duty that you pay extra, it varies by state, but typically it's between 2 to 3 times more stamp duty. The other thing as well is that it also depends on what type of income are you earning as well, right? Are you earning income in Australia? Do you have a permanent employed job here? The bank's gonna want to scrutinize you a little bit more because you're not a permanent resident. When are you going to go back? Are you still going to be able to afford the loan once you do go back to your country? The banks are gonna ask those questions as well. So you have to make sure that you have solid financials so the banks will be willing to support that loan. And you have to make sure that you have a pretty big upfront deposit, because it's not just the deposit of the property that you have to pay, you also have to pay the additional in-stamp duty costs as well. These are the 2 hurdles that you have to get across first. Once you get across these hurdles, there are going to be other things involved in that process too. Things like getting approval from the government. The government also needs to approve your application to buy property in the first place. It's called FIRB approval. It stands for Foreign Investment Review Board approval. There's actually like a board of people that will review your application and approve it, and there's a fee that comes along with that application as well. Minimum is around $5,000 if you're buying something for under $1 million, and if you're buying something for more than $1 million, the application fee is about $10,000. So you have to take that into account on top of the extra stamp duty and also the tougher loan requirements as well. So the answer is not no, you can't buy. The answer is yes, you can buy, but with some pretty serious conditions that come along with that as well. So what we typically recommend for anyone that's not on a permanent resident, typically it's better waiting to get your permanent residency before you buy your first property, unless you're willing to pay all the extra costs, in which case no problem at all, you can go ahead and buy it. But if you don't have that budget, if that's not within your scope of affordability, then typically wait until you become a permanent resident, because the buying process will become a lot easier after that. And if it's not that far away within the next 12 months or so, typically you might be better off waiting.